So I wanted to hop on today and talk about the second block of our Success Club tracker. I have an image. Actually, I'm going to see. No, I don't know how to do that. So I will throw it on this feed when I'm done, and you can check it out after. But I'm going to go through piece by piece and break it down for you guys. So I follow this tracker religiously because I'm very much a list person. I'm very much a task-oriented person, and I'm not super organized. I just got wrapped up in a mentorship call and I missed Elsie's live math class. Like, that's me. Anybody can be a coach. So yesterday we talked about filling our cup, personal development, doing our workouts, drinking our Shakeology, taking care of us. Today, we're going to be talking about reaching out. And that is one part that scares a lot of people. And so I want to get you into a good mindset, a good mind frame, even before we do this. So what I need from you is a piece of paper, and I need you to fold it into 4s. And if you're brand new to this opportunity and these products, then you may only have 2 things filled. But we're going to start this off together, and anytime you are inviting or anytime something cool happens, feel free to add to your list. But before you sit down for your power hour, I want you to pull this out, and I want you to get to that place. Because if I'm just thinking about asking somebody to join me and start a business with me, or to join one of my challenge groups, if I'm scared of inviting them, then there's no confidence in that invite. I'm not putting myself in that invite. So I'm not going to do it because it literally makes me cry every single time I do. But I sit for a minute and I think about just how much everything that has stemmed from these products in this business has changed my life, has impacted my life. And then I think for a second what my life would look like if my sister hadn't shared it. She hadn't shared it so openly, so bravely. And then I think about all the Melissas out there that are still stuck where I was. And I know that we are stubborn and that we're not necessarily going to ask for the help. Because for those people who are very much like me, they don't think that they can be helped. So I know what I'm dealing with. I know who I'm looking for. I know who I'm dealing with. Yesterday, in the beginning of our power hour, they had us, and it's different. Like, I do live power hours with top leaders. We have just a Zoom link that we share in our team page, so anyone can hop on these power hours and just keep yourself muted. You don't even have to have your video on there, and you just work along with these top leaders. And it's nice because they give, this idea came from one of those. They give suggestions for things to say, good mindset tips, and things like that. But it really got me thinking. And I told even my new coach today when we were doing our mentorship call that in the beginning of your business, the invites are really just planting seeds, because all of those people who you are inviting, they may not join you right now because they may not even know what you're doing, but they're going to start watching you. So it's important to even plant the seeds. And what I told her the first week, and this is what I want you guys to do, if you're brand new to this or you're not even coaching yet, or you were a challenger and you want to dip your toe in the water of coaching, or if you're a coach and you've been a coach for a while but you haven't really run with this business, I want you to make a list of 100 people. It may take you a couple of days. And off the top of your head, you might not be able to find 100 people. So go to your friends list on Facebook and write down 100 people. And I want at least 10 names on that list that scare you to reach out to. Y'all, when I was first inviting to this business, I wasn't even a recovered alcoholic yet. I was still an active alcoholic. So I was an active alcoholic reaching out to people who I know have seen me messed up. And I'm asking them if they needed my help. So if I could do that, I know you can. I wanted to travel. When I first started as a coach, I don't know if I heard it on a call or somebody told me or what, but if I helped 3 to 5 people every month, I would earn a free trip for myself and my husband. And I was like, I'm going to find those people. I'm going to find those people who need what I have. And I remember literally going through my Facebook friends, starting with the A's and then working down to the B's and so on and so forth. But anyway, so in the top square, I want you to write down before challenge group. And then I want you to write down what kind of person you were before you started in a challenge group as a challenger. What kind of things did you struggle with? Were you lonely? Were you lost? Did you feel like a failure? Did you feel so alone, like nobody would ever understand what you were going through? Overweight, limited, seeing all the perfect people on social media and thinking that I would never be them. Thinking that their life was so perfect and mine was such a shit show. I felt like a fraud, and I struggled so much. So I struggled with food. I struggled with body image. I struggled with self-worth. I struggled with literally all the things. And then after challenge group, so what were the changes in you? I felt like I belonged. I felt like I could do it. I felt supported. I saw others that looked like me, and that changed everything. I had more pride, and I wanted to share what was happening. And then, so that's before challenge group, after challenge group, before challenge group, after challenge group, whatever. Before coaching, I was a lonely stay-at-home mom. I lacked motivation. I knew my girls deserved more, but I didn't know how to give it to them. We had no income coming in. I didn't want to go back to work for somebody else. I didn't think that I was coach material, and I didn't think that I was anyone to change lives. However, I knew mine needed changed. So, as a coach, I contribute to my family. I have community. The community is amazing. Some of my best friends. I'm a leader. I take trips like 3 to 4 times a year. I'm 5.5 years sober. I'm using my voice and I'm sharing my struggles to help others. I am proud of my struggles. Things that I thought I would take to my grave, now I'm sharing openly and changing lives. And I'm helping so many women, it's hard to keep track. So, those are just mine, right? So now I definitely feel like I'm in more of a place to invite. Because I think about everything that is on this list, the change in this list, and it feels selfish to not offer that to somebody else. So make one of these, keep it with you for whenever you're ready to go invite. So our second vital behavior that we're going to talk about today is the inviting process. They used to call it invite, and they changed it, and I love that they did because this is such a crucial part. Connect, invite, and follow up. So we're going to talk about that quickly today. So first, there are 5 circles to close in this circle, in this block. This is our purple circle. This is the one that I struggle with to close. If there's ever a circle that I struggle to close, it's this one. It's this one, because this is the one where your income producing activities are. And this is the one where we tend to put it off. So if you haven't already listened to or read the book, Eat That Frog, if you are a procrastinator like myself, get it, read it, listen to it, apply it to your life. That's another thing. When we talk about personal development, it's not enough to just listen to all this personal development. I want you to take something from each book, from each chapter, from each day that you listen to personal development and find how you can apply that to your life. This is personal development, not just personal collection of knowledge. We want to actually develop into the leaders and people we're supposed to be. So first circle to close is initiate connections and add followers. So how do we do this? On Facebook, it looks way different than it does on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm very careful. I actually don't even add any friends on Facebook anymore. However, I did in the beginning. So in the beginning, when I was looking to add friends on Facebook, here's what I would do. I would go to my mother-in-law's page or my husband's page or someone I knew would never coach. like my older sister. I know she's a safe bet. I can go to her page, although her friends may not want to do what I'm doing because she's like anti-Beachbody. And that happens with people. That happens. My younger sister is a 6-figure earner and I'm the happiest, healthiest that I've ever been. And she's still like, yeah, not for me. And I'm like, cool, you do you, boo. So that will happen and that's okay. However, I know that I can go add friends of hers. So if you have someone who is just, you just know, and here's why you need to know. It could be your best friend and 6 months down the road, she decides she wants to start coaching. And if you went and friended all her friends, well, now all her friends are going to be signing up under you. So that's why we don't want to do that. So you can go to friends of friends who you know will never be a coach, family members, things like that. You can add their friends. You can search places on Facebook and add friends who have been to those places. You can search groups, like pages, and people who like those like pages. Things like that. It's kind of similar on Instagram, a little bit different. So Instagram, you can search either hashtag or account. Personally, I have better luck with an account. So I have a couple accounts that I really like. They are big accounts. Like one of them that I'm currently working with has 100,000 followers. So I can go to this page and they have 100,000 followers and the page is called Fucking Sober. So for me, it's my tribe. The whole point of this going to Instagram is to find your people. Honestly, if I could just look up sweary, sober, cannabis loving people, that would be my tribe. That would be my tribe. So when I'm searching, I was part of a Mother's Mary community. I've gone to their headquarter page and I've added followers from there. So what I do, whenever you find whatever page, like maybe you have a baby swing that you are obsessed with. Maybe you're obsessed with Louis Vuitton, right? Maybe you're obsessed with this brand of lashes. Whatever it is for you, you go to their page on Instagram and you find the people who are engaging in their page. So you can either find a post you really like and look at all the comments. Find people that are commenting on it because you know they're already engaging in Instagram. Go to their page, look at their page. If their page does not look like you, get off of it, right? We don't need to just get all the people in the world. That's not what this is. This is to get people who you're like, oh yeah, I could talk to this chick. I could message her. We could have a good old time. Those are your people. Those are your people. So here's what I do when I find my people. I scroll through their thing and naturally when I would like a status, I like a status. If I can't find 3 to 5 statuses to like, that ain't my person. If I can't find one post in the first 12 to 15 that I can make a genuine comment on, that isn't my person. So here's what I do. I kind of do the 5-3-1 method, only I don't really count. I like a bunch of pictures that I actually legitimate like. I comment on 1 or 2 of them that I would legitimately comment on, and then I follow that person. And then I pick one picture from their feed that resonates with me. I click on that little flag under their picture, hold it down, and now you can add it to a collection. Collections on Instagram are super helpful for this business. So it's still September. You can do this several ways. I've done it several ways. So any person that I'm connecting to in September, I would put in a collections of September friends. I also have a collection of Sober Sisters. I also have a collection of my tribe. If I find somebody who screams Melissa, they go straight into my tribe. If I find someone from that Fucking Sober page, sorry they're swearing in here, it is me, then I'll put them under the Sober Sisters. And I put them in that collection so that the next time I go back into my power hour and it's time to initiate connections and add followers, well, I've already added my followers. I've already started those connections. But now the second half of it, I go back into the collections from the last few days and I continue to engage. So every day you're adding to these collections of these new people for you to talk to, these new people that are very, like, are your vibe. You know, so if they have pictures of their kids, essential oils, like, what are the things that you like, right? Like, I'm sweary, I'm sober, and I like cannabis. Like, those are my things. Those are what people connect to. I also have anxiety and depression and chronic pain, but those came to, I feel like everybody has a touch of those this year. So I don't go too heavy on those. But I even told April that I'm looking for my sober sisters, and it's taken me a while to kind of realize that that's the tribe that I'm looking to find. But if you've mastered sobriety, you're pretty freaking strong. You can do hard things, and you can commit to something that you didn't think that you could do. So, and you're used to accountability and support, and you like all those things, and you're definitely all about the growth. So for me, I am looking for sober people. I'm looking for sober people who maybe want to use their stories and their voice to help others. Because all the other stuff we do is just good for us, right? So, and when I'm doing the initiating, the connections, that's a lot of the mental health check-ins. So I'll ask them, how are you doing with 2020? It's been a crazy year. So many people, like, you have no idea how many people are so appreciative when I send them just mental health checks, asking how they're doing, how's virtual schooling going, how's 2020 going for them, do they have any goals, anything that they're working on, anything that they're struggling with. Here's the thing. All of the struggles lead back to what we do. All of them. All of my struggles lead back to what we do. So even if I start a message in that way, if they are struggling, I know where it's going because they've helped me so much. So first and foremost, you need to be filling that top circle, doing the things for yourself so that you can offer these tools to others, okay? So we are good with finding a page, searching a hashtag, finding those people, putting them into collections, and that is our initiate connections and add followers, right? Then next, do a social media post that showcases the benefits of your healthy life or has a call to action. So this wouldn't be just me and my girls. This would be a jab or a right hook. I'll go over that with you guys, of coaching or challenge group. So there is a book by Gary Vee, and I think it's Gary Vee. I think so. I love Gary Vee because he's super sweary. I should know this. I have the book. I haven't actually finished it because it's a book that you have to read, and I'm way better at Audible, so you do you with personal development. However, I should put that on my list, although I know the basis. So it's jab, 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 which is your stories, your posts, things that you're talking about coaching. If you go to my page, you'll see some jabs about coaching, and then it's a right hook when you call them to act, when you actually ask them to do something. So like maybe I'm jabbing that this retreat was the best thing ever. Maybe I'm jabbing that I feel safe with my religion, like things that I've been sharing, right, since the retreat. And then the right hook was yesterday when I was like, I have one spot left and this is who I'm looking for. Is that spot you? Drop your hat in the ring below, and I left a job form for them to fill out. That is a right hook. So not everything is a come join me. Some things are just, I'm sharing, right? So are you posting daily something that shares your healthy lifestyle? Like, so that can be a recipe post. It doesn't have to be a, hey, come join my group. It can be a personal development post. It can be a recipe post. It can be maybe you shared a workout video, like for people. Maybe you gave them tips. Maybe it's a Wellness Wednesday post. Maybe it was a coach post. Maybe it's a confidence post. Or if it has a call to action, boom, you're good. But it can't just be like throw up a funny meme and be like, yes, I did my post today. Because no, that's fine. We all love funny memes. But are you talking about the business? I have done inventory on a few coaches, and I look at their page and I'm like, last time I saw you post anything about this business was like August. Nobody remembers that shit. You gotta keep talking about it. Like, You got to talk about it all the time and not the same thing, right? Different things, little bit breadcrumb it, but I guarantee you that you can probably take everything in your life and trace it back to coaching now, because if you're actually doing the things, if you're closing that green bubble on the top, your life is improving and your life is changing and you have things to share. And if you don't, get to work, boo. Next, respond to all new likes, comments, and views. So when people are liking your post, commenting on your post, if there's a comment on your post, you better comment back. GIFs are good for interaction, are good for engagement. However, conversations are even better. So if you can start conversations with people in the comments on your post, awesome, on both platforms. That one's an easy one. The post every day, the respond to all new likes or comments, easy, right? Those should be done. And even initiate connections and followers. Throw 10 to 20 minutes. And here's the thing, guys. I really like this from the National Wake Up Call that I shared yesterday. She talked about reverse engineering your goals. If you are spending 10 minutes doing the connections and adding followers, and then you are spending 20 minutes inviting, and then after a few days, you're like, I don't have anyone to invite anymore, then you flip-flop it. Then you do 20 minutes of connections and adding followers for the next 5 days, and you do 10 minutes of invites. Because if you are doing less of bringing people in and more of inviting those people that you're bringing, you're going to run out of the people you're bringing in. So you might have to reverse engineer, switch around your goals, especially in the beginning. So maybe you spend more time putting people in those collections and talking to them daily before you start inviting. That's fine. Guys, I still count, sometimes when I'm doing mental health check-ins, I still count those as my invites, because I know that if they are struggling, that's where they'll end up. All right? So invite at least 5 people to join a challenge group or to learn about coaching. Again, we don't want a super, super wordy message. And here's a tip. If you have never messaged this person before, like there's no message history, please don't send the first message as an invite. It needs to be a connection. You need to build a relationship. It's not just, hey, you, thanks for watching my stories. Want to join this group I'm doing? First, people who watch your stories, if you're talking about your stuff in your stories, they already know what's going on. So it's not as weird, but I still like to throw a little something in there, like look at their page, something, right? Or maybe it's a message about the story that they watched. Maybe it was something funny, right? So, sample invites, guys, I want you to think about something small. For your invites this week, I want you to pick something small. So you pick, and it's good to plan your week and know what's going on. I understand, so you guys are just getting started, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to invite to challenge groups. It is a little less intimidating to coaching. And when we invite to challenge groups and we get people interested and they want to actually join us, then we will talk to them about signing up as a discount coach, and that is how we can build our business and move and hit Emerald without having to feel like you have to bring in business builder coaches when you're still trying to figure out the business. Can you invite people to this business? Right? Like, hell yeah, doggy, from the beginning. I don't know. You do you. However, also, time of the month. So for me, my 8 spots for this mentorship are filled. And I said 8 spots because I wanted to devote my time and energy to these 8 people. So I'm done recruiting for coaching this month. So now I will follow up with people who I already talked to about coaching, and if they want to join and if they want to check it out, then that's at my discretion. And maybe they skip the sneak peek and I give them a PDF and they join my coach training next week. So publicly, I'm done inviting to my mentorship. Privately, there may be some that still go out because I can also send them follow-up information and just get them started on my team. However, the bulk of my invites are going to be turning into challenge groups because that's what's next. So the first 2 weeks of the month, I recruit to my challenge group. I talk about it in my stories. I talk about it on my page. I talk about it when I'm inviting. And the second 2 weeks of the month, the 3rd and 4th week of the month, I talk about coaching. And I'm inviting to a mentorship like we're doing now, or I'm inviting to my new coach training that starts in the 1st of the month. So whatever's coming up, because my challenge groups start halfway through the month. So the first 2 weeks, I'm recruiting for those, and then it starts. And then I'm recruiting for new coaches. And what's nice about this is the coaches that I'm recruiting in the end of the month, they also get to start off inviting, just like you guys, to the challenge group. And it's a little less intimidating. It's just like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to do it with me? And a great thing would be if you already have a relationship with this person and you're checking in, or even if not, this is a great check-in message. Hey, how are you doing? 2020 has been a hell of a roller coaster, and I just want to see how you're doing, right? I can't even believe that it's almost October. And then part of me is like, can we hurry this year along, right? And I tend to get a little too winded. Also, feel free to send your invites and voice messages. Like, let them hear you. But anyways, mine would probably be like, so it all depends on the person, if you've been talking to them or not, how close you are with them. But I would check in, see how 2020 is going, tell them that you've struggled too, give an example, and then share that you're in a private support and accountability group and it has really helped you keep your head above water. I'd love to send you some deets, some info if you're interested. Like, no pressure, right? Just, how are you doing with 2020? It's been a freaking crazy year. I don't know about you, but I'm part of this like accountability and support group. You could call it my AA. And I just don't know what I would have done without them this year. Like, they were really helping me before, but this year I have leaned into that group hardcore. And I just wanted to see if you could use something like that. Happy to send you info if you want. That's it. And here's the thing. In that invite, even if they don't tell me yes, they're going to watch me. They're going to watch me much closer. So even if you're sending that invite and they say no, you're planting seeds. There are so many people that are joining me like in the last year or two that I invited my first year as a coach. They've been watching me this whole time. So keep finding your people, keep adding connections, keep collecting all those people on Instagram, keep talking to them, keep inviting them, and then keep following up. So next is follow up with people you've invited. You need to find a system that works for you. I will give you my basic system, and then I am actually now moving over to the computer because there are too many people to track. So that's a good problem to have. I use several different notebooks, and we are wrapping up here, guys, which is good because Cora will be waking up soon, and I do have to finish out. I have to send out a couple invites and follow-ups, so maybe I'll do that on here if you guys are still game. Words are hard. There's that cannabis. All right, so I just have a notebook, just a plain notebook. And what I do, this is where this is my invites, okay? So I will sit down with this notebook and I always write the date and then what I'm inviting to. So if I need more connections, I'm like, I don't have any current conversations going, so I don't have anyone to like casually invite, and I don't want to be that cold invite person, then I might spend that bulk of that time just doing mental health check-ins, just doing connections, just starting relationships so that the next day or 2 days later, I will go off of that list of connections and that's who I will invite from based on where those conversations were going. So I write down the date and then I write, this was Facebook stories. This one was Challenger invites and convos. Because I always write what I'm inviting to. This was the last 90 days of last year. So like I could even re-invite those people for the last 90 days of this year if I wanted. I had a mentorship call, a coach sneak peek call, whatever. Free fall meal plan. My last group of 2019. Sobriety love, a coach webinar, depression, bar blend, bar. It's always like active on like what I'm doing too. Coach sneak peek, mental health check-in. I did a lot of mental health check-in in the beginning of quarantine. Health bet, MBF. A birthday thank you and check-in. So everyone who wished me happy birthday on my page got a private message from me. And in the message, it was like, thank you so much for wishing me happy birthday. I always like to set new goals for the year. It feels like a fresh start. Do you have any goals that you want to achieve in the rest of 2020, or are you thinking ahead for 2021 yet? And wouldn't you know that like half the people that messaged me back were like, oh yeah, my goals are to reduce my stress and anxiety and lose weight. And I'm like, well, hello, lady. And I'll tell you too, a couple of the people that I've been connecting with lately from my sobriety thing, like there are some of them that I feel like it was fucking fate. Like I messaged them, and there are some that are on the brink of relapse. They're really struggling after 2020 and they need a supportive group, and they're asking me about AA meetings. And I'm like, well, actually, I use BB. I was like, BB is my AA, but like, even if it's just a supportive group of women for accountability, like you don't know who needs this, especially after this year. So just don't hold back and just check in with people. And then I was on stress, and then coaching, challenge group, coaching, mentorship, unstress, challenge group. So I write what I'm inviting to, and then I write down the names, right? And you can do it by, it's however you want to do it. If you want to have a certain number of people where you invite 5 people every day, or maybe you spend 20 minutes. Whatever works for you. I actually kind of like the power hours and the set time, because then I don't feel like I'm just trying to hit a number. It's easier for me to have genuine conversations and genuine invites if I'm just like, okay, I get 20 minutes and let's see how many people I can jive and invite, right? Instead of, okay, I have to get 5 down, like, because then sometimes when I don't want to do it, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have been that person that's like, yeah, this looks good. I'll just copy and paste this to 5 people who watch my stories, and then I'm like, done. And it's not the same. It's not the same. So set aside time. This is one that you actually do need quiet time. You need to set aside time. You need to invite. You need to follow up. So with these invites and the connections or the relationships or whatever I'm doing in here, these names are literally just the people my first reach out, okay? Then if we just have a regular conversation, like we just shoot the shit, like cool, they don't go anywhere else, right? But if they're like, actually I'm struggling with losing weight, or tell me a little bit more about it, is what you do, or yes, I would like more information. If there's something that is taking our conversation further in, one of those directions, then they go in my follow-up book. And so this book, same thing. I have it. Here's my follow-up coach sneak peek, and then I have everybody's names in there, and I even have them like checked off and then highlighted when I sent them info. So when they responded back that they wanted info, their name went on here, and then I highlighted them when I sent them the info. So I have different ways of keeping track. Like I said, whatever works for you guys. Then it was a customer follow-up, and I just write one page on here, and as they flow in, I just write them on that page. So, like, I could still go back and write for a coach sneak peek on that list if I really wanted to. The last 90, crockpot group in January, boss babe call, a webinar, fall meal plan, 3-day refresh, end of a decade group, peppermint mocha. So, like, even if I have people interested in our Shakeology, like my follow-up, I have a whole page of peppermint mocha, because then when it was time to send out share carts and orders, I had everybody who was interested all in one sheet. And it was easy for me to send out all my share carts and forms and all that crap. Bar blend, 6 weeks of the work. So I even have people, if people answer one of the polls in my stories about like trying a free bar workout, they would go on this list. So anybody who responded to any of my polls and my stories positively about the 6 weeks of the work, I would put them under there, right? So whatever I'm talking about that week, whenever people are responding, I'm putting them in my follow-up. This one is manage your munchies. Know your target market, guys. Know your target market. I have one person on here. Who's still on here with me? 10 rounds. Quarantine club. So this is my follow-up book, right? And then I have one more that I'm going to share with you guys. So I run a lot of free groups. And I have a whole separate live on free groups, a YouTube video. So I'll share that with you guys in here because there's some good tips on there. And free groups are a great way as new coaches to get started. 1, you're offering free value. 2, so much less intimidating to invite to a free group. So it helps you rack up your inviting. It helps get people into the group. It helps to be able to offer them value. But most importantly, if you're getting somebody into your free group, you get something from them. Their email. Okay? All right, so this is my book of free groups. So for the last like few years, anytime I've run a group, I have a list of people in here. So this is kind of like my Bible. So I can go back through and look at a bunch of my free groups and be like, oh, I need to invite some people to my challenge group. Let me scroll back through here. Oh, this person did like 3 free groups with me a year ago. Oh yeah, let's see how she's doing, right? So that's handy to always have a list of everyone who is in any of your groups. So I get these notebooks at like Marshall's, TJ Maxx for like $5. And so these are my main 3. And then I do have one. So this is like National Wake Up Call notes, team call notes, live training notes. So oh, yay! Hannah's the best. We love Hannah. Welcome. So I do have a notebook where I have for like notes and trainings and things like that. So I'm definitely a notebook girl. So I have several different notebooks, but it's whatever works for you. I also have Google Streak, and I've been using that too. I'm not a tech savvy person, so if you want to use Google Streak, there are tons of YouTube videos to walk you through it. That's what I did. So I have my notebooks that I use. I follow my tracker, and honestly, guys, like some days, if I invite 1 or 2 people, like if it's on a weekend and it's 1 or 2 people, like I still did that behavior. And I really try, even on the weekends when I tend to unplug a little, I have been trying to at least invite 1 person so I can close that circle. So I can stay consistent every day of the week, because consistency is what is going to move your business forward. So that was a lot. I'm going to share the image of the bulk of the connect, invite, and follow up. But do you guys have any questions? I know I only have Regina on here. So Regina, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, when you watch this, guys, just throw your questions below and we will get around to answering them. I want you to know this. Inviting shouldn't be a scary thing. Honestly, even though it's still a little hard for me sometimes, once I do it, it's the most rewarding part, because every once in a while, I will send that invite out to somebody. And for me, I'm like, oh, okay, just send, right? And then I get the response back. They're like, oh my gosh, you have no idea how much this means to me. Like, thanks for thinking of me. Like, I would love to join you. And I remember the first time I started messaging people from my stories, it was actually last year's retreat. So we were in Utah, and Rachel and Heather were like sending out all these invites from people who were watching their stories. And I was like, I've never done that. They were like, what? Why are you doing your stories? I'm like, I don't know. You guys told me to. So I was doing stories that whole time, getting all that people watching me, and I wasn't doing anything with them. So I started going through all the people who watch my stories, and I started sending them messages and connecting, and then asking them if they wanted more information about what I do. And it was kind of worded like, a lot of people don't even know that I run an online business based on my own personal health and fitness journey. So if you'd like some info on that, let me know. And it was almost like 50% of the people were like, heck yeah. And I was like, what? These people have been watching me for all this time, and they want more information, and I had yet to ask them? Like, guys, if people are watching your stories every day, they give a fuck about what you're doing. So you should be talking to them. You should be messaging them, getting relationships, initiating those connections, and then inviting them, whether to a free group, to a challenge group, or to a coaching opportunity, or to join you in this business. Just do it. Just do it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me see. It looks like I have one. Oh, good. Yes. So also remember, like, sometimes people like to put on music or like one of those little like short inspirational videos. Like Will Smith has some, Tony Robbins has some, where they like play the music and like get you all pumped up. Rachel went to Tony Robbins live, and he does this peak state where you put on a song and you bounce around and you dance around to it for the whole length of the song. And when you're done, you're so pumped up. You're so pumped up. Like, I need you to have that energy. I need you to be like a little kid who's going to an amusement park the next day and you are so excited to tell all your friends about it. You need to get to that mindset before you invite. It won't feel like a chore. It'll feel like, hey, I'm just asking my next 5 best friends to do burpees with me or to do business with me, whatever it is, right? And honestly, like, I have so much fun with my girls in my group and everyone on my team. So it's an opportunity to join you in this beautiful business and this beautiful life. And that is a gift. This is all a gift. And I need you to know and remind yourself that it's a gift before you share it. And if you're coming from that place, you're sharing from that place, you are not going to seem salesy. You are not going to come off as cold or icky. And people are going to relate to you. And even if they don't join you right now, I guarantee they'll be watching. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.